Giridhari Yasodhanandan Rajajanarjana Yasodhanandan Rajajanarjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Girivaradhari Govinda Girivaradhari Yasodhanda Prajujanarjana Yasodhanda Prajujanarjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Paramahamsa, Prabhupada, Srishmad, His Divine Grace, thanks to Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada, Paramahamsa, Prabhupada, Srishmad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gopasha Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod ki Jai. Sri Guru Parampara ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda, Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Gyan Chimarandasya Ganandana Shalakya Chakshur Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitajena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Savam Padutam Pridina Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganam Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Sute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhan Sudhadevi Pranamami Hare Prasad Panchakapatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Parijani Pavnebi Vaishnavebi Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse, 66, chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. In Sanskrit, it's called Moksha Yoga. So, please repeat. Savadam parijajya mamekam sharanam braja aham dvam savapapebhyo mukshayishyami masucha savadam parijajya mamekam sharanam braja aham dvam savapapebhyo mukshayishyami masucha. Mukshayishyami masucha Swadharma Prijaya Sarvadharma Prijaya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Ham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mukshayishyami masucha. Okay, thank you. Word for word, please. Sarvadharma, all varieties of religion. Prijaja, abandoning. Mam, unto me. Ekam, only. Sharanam, for surrender. Raja, go. Aham, I. Tvam, you. Sarva, all. papebhya, from sinful reactions, mukhyayishyami, will deliver. Na, do not, suchaha, worry. Okay, so translation, Srila Prabhupada. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Please repeat. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Yes, purport Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion: knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Supersoul, knowledge of different types of orders and statuses of life, of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the seventh chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya vajanam rakshashyatiti vasvayo gopetre varanam tata atma nipeksha karpanye sadvida sharanam gati. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna as the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes. By cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His the name of Krishna, sorry, his name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted by the supersoul feature, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole of Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists. But one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, Masuchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one may give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna, but such worry is useless. So Prabhupada is so definite and clear, isn't he? Uh, that is the Acharya. He's speaking from position of great realization. So that vision of great realization makes everything very clear. So, Makum Karochi Vachalam Pangam Laite Girim Yad Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Sarvadama Prijada Mamekam Saranam Vraja Aham Tvam Sava Papebyo Muksha Yishyami Ma Suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. What's this? Abandon all variety of religion? Is Krishna teaching irreligion? Abandon all religions? What is this? Krishna consciousness is recommending, proposing irreligion? No. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada here, Krishna is saying, give up all the lower conceptions of religion and come to the ultimate conception of dharma. So, to understand that point, we must understand what dharma means. The dharma of water is what? Liquidity, clarity, we can say. What is the dharma of fire? Heat, light. That is the dharma of water. So, what is the dharma of the soul? Arjuna has already been educated from chapter 1, chapter 2. You're not the body, Arjuna. You are the soul. So, what is the dharma of the soul? So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and I recommend everyone to read that book. We're just reprinting it. I'm just going through the editing again. Jaiva Dharma. That means the religion of the soul, right? What is the religion or the dharma of the soul? The intrinsic quality of water is clarity and liquidity. The intrinsic quality of fire is heat and light. So that is the meaning, ultimately, of dharma. Dharma means the intrinsic, inherent quality of an entity. So what is the intrinsic quality of the soul? That is the question. What is Jaiva Dharma? What is that highest conception of the quality, the nature, the characteristics of the soul? That's what Krishna is recommending. Yes, in relationship to the material energy, we may have different dharmas. Huh? It is natural for a man to protect his wife and children, for the wife to nurture the children and nurture the husband, and so on. So we can say that is a material dharma. So in the discussion between Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya, uh, Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Roy, what is sadhya? What is the goal, the ultimate goal? And what is sadhana? What is the practice by which we can get that ultimate position? So that is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the Madhya Lila, and I recommend everyone to study it very carefully because it is very well structured and it goes through all the different levels. So at first, Ramananda Roy replies to Lord Chaitanya. Now it's very interesting this because who is Ramananda Roy in Krishna Lila? Arjuna, right? Actually, he has and Lilita also. He's combined. So he is instructing Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Krishna is a thief, right? He steals butter. He'll steal your heart, but he's the greatest thief. So what is the greatest thing in all the creation? The bhava of Radharani. Huh? There's nothing greater than the mood of Radharani, her devotion. So Krishna steals that greatest thing and dresses himself in that mood of Radharani and becomes a devotee. So Krishna is Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Radharani. Therefore he takes golden form like Radharani. And it's interesting. In the Gita, Krishna is instructing Arjuna, but in Chaitanya Leela, Arjuna is instructing Krishna because Lord Chaitanya is a devotee. So devotee is anxious to know. So Lord Chaitanya, of course, he's in the mood of Radharani. He is, what is the goal of life? Huh? Vaishnava philosophy is what? Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. Prayojan means the goal, the necessity, the sadhya, in one word, the apex of achievement. And sadhana means how to attain that. So at one point, at the beginning of the conversation, Lord Chaitanya was told by Ramananda Roy, Varnashram, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. And Lord Chaitanya said, oh, that's okay, but it's external. Go further, go deeper into the sadhana by which I can attain sadhya, by which I can attain Jaiva Dharma, the ultimate quality of a soul. So then Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Roy carried on. And eventually he came to quoting that verse of Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto. What is the best sadhana? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Achanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So by that practice, one achieves Jaiva Dharma. Rupa Goswami has written a verse. Seva Sadakarupena Siddharupena Chatrahi. You know that, Prem? Yes. That means that devotional service should be performed with the sadhaka roop. That means with the body, the external body. We should discipline the material body according to rules and regulations of yoga. But it should also be performed with siddha rupena. That means what? That means the developing rupa of Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai, Shravanadi Sudachitte Karide Udai. So we perform sadhana, we follow rules and regulations, we take information from Brahman ashram, we take information from Guru, diet, cleanliness, advice for marriage, so on and so forth, sadhaka rupena. But that is to make the circumstances good so that the siddha rupena, the spiritual body, awakens, the spiritual nature, which is our real dharma. The real dharma of the soul is pure bhakti, prem bhakti. So what is Krishna telling Arjuna here? He said, give up all these material external dharmas and make your priority, yes, fight in the battle, but make in your priority your jiva dharma, your nature as a devoted, ecstatic lover of the Supreme Lord, whom I am. That is surrender. To enter into relationship, transcendental relationship with the transcendental Lord in our Siddharupena, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai, Shravanadi Sudajitte Karide Udai. So, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, where is it going to come from, that Dharma? The Dharma of the soul is Krishna Prem. That is the nature of the soul. But Karide Udai. And therefore it says Nishisiddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai. That means it's not brought from any other place. It's not given by Guru. It's not coming from Prashadam. These things are stimulating Sadhakabanai, the Dharma of the soul, the nature of the soul, the intrinsic quality, the constitutional nature, the innate nature of the soul is Krishna Prem. But it is dormant because we have rebelled against that. That is another involved discussion, but we are marginal potency. We have emanated from Lord Vishnu in his form of Mahavishnu in the causal ocean, and we have chosen the attractions of Maya instead of the service to the Supreme from the causal ocean position. Krishna has given us the Vedas so that we can enjoy Maya very nicely. We don't have to go to hell if we follow the Vedas. But this material world is unsatisfactory. So eventually we look for something beyond material enjoyment, beyond Swargaloka, beyond Atala Vitala Sutala Tala Tala Mahatala Rasatala Patala, beyond the lower regions, the upper regions, because this material energy cannot satisfy us, because it's not our true nature to enjoy matter. Our true nature is to enter into ecstatic prem and reciprocate with the Supreme Lord. That's the meaning of Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhakavanai. So, we have a spiritual body that is lying in seed. There is this question is sometimes mulled over. Okay, I want to give up karma yoga, mystic powers, going to Swargaloka. I want to give up merging into the Brahman. I want to surrender to Krishna. I have Krishna Prem in seed form in my heart. Huh? I am naturally the servant of Krishna. What is that sloka? Jivera Swarupoi. Yes, Krishna Nityadas. That is my nature. But I am not just the servant of Krishna, I am the Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, servant of Krishna. How is it attained? Shravanadi Sudha Chitte Karide Udai. It will wake up, it's there. It's in dormant form. Prabhupada explains that. There's a letter to Rupanuga in 1969, and Rupanuga has apparently been asking Prabhupada, what about the spiritual form? Now, we've just discussed how the Dharma of the soul is eternal, Sat, cognizant, Chit, Anand. Krishna Prem is the ultimate Anand. And Jivara Swarupoi Nichara Krishna. He is servant of Krishna, loving servant of Krishna. So somebody may say, well, what about the form of Krishna? Or what about my form? Do I have a constitutional form? Huh? I have constitutionally the nature of serving Krishna. I have constitutionally Krishna Prem. But what about my constitutional form? Huh? Because Prem, it has to have a root. It has to have a source. It has to come from some body. So what is my dharmic form, my ultimate position? What is my form in the spiritual world? I'm a servant, yes. I'm a loving servant, yes. Where's my form? So Prabhupada in this letter explains that the form is there always. That's exactly his statement, in the soul. And then Prabhupada explains that the form, he gives an example. He says, just like a tree, we have three seeds. One seed is naturally an apple tree. Another seed is naturally a mango tree. Another seed is naturally a banyan tree. So they have constitutional form. Prabhupada is using that. Just like our Krishna Prem is in seed form, Nityasiddha Krishna Prem, Sadhakabanai, so our Krishna, our Swarup, our spiritual form is exactly that. Swarup, own form. Sanskrit. Swa means one's own, and Rup means form. And that is perfectly logical. In the Ishopanishad, what does it say? The invocation. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udashite Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Visit. That the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. He is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. So, yes, he's Sat, he's eternal, he's cognizant, Chit, he's full of Ananda, Anandamoy Vyasat, but he's also a person. He also has a form. So we are Angsa of Krishna. We also have a constitutional form. And just like our Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem is lying in seed form, our spiritual form is also constitutional. Just like the tree, it expresses its form, does it not? Material nature adds energy, the Shakti, for the tree, the seed, to go from the apple tree to the apple seed to the apple tree, to go from the mango tree seed to the mango tree. Material nature adds according to the constitutional form of the seed, the constitutional nature of the seed. Similarly with the banyan tree seed, material nature will add the energy, but according to the seed form. So Prabhupada in that letter, he explains it in that brilliant way. And he says, yes, the form is there, but it's lying, our spiritual form is lying in seed form. And so similarly, he doesn't actually say this, but we can understand that, yes, as our spiritual nature, our Jiva Dharma, as ecstatic loving servants of the Supreme and the Supreme's devotees, as that awakens, then the Chit Shakti grows our spiritual form in accordance with our seed constitutional nature. And if you examine the beginning of Bhagavad Gita in the introduction, Prabhupada says every soul has a particular relationship with the Supreme Lord. And then he explains there is Shantaras, there's Dashyabhav. I think you're familiar with these terms. Sakyabhav, Vatsalyabhav, and Madhuryabhav. But there is variety within those categories. And each soul is constitutionally has a stahibhav. Stahibhav means a constitutional mood. He may have this mood and this transformation of mood in the Leela, but his stahibhav is associated with one of those 5 relationships: servitude, fraternity, parental, conjugal. And he has every soul is an individual relationship with the Supreme Lord that is there, that is constitutional. So that when the Krishna Prem arises through pure sadhana, bhakti yoga taught by Lord Chaitanya, that constitutional nature awakens. It is not something to be gained from another source, Kabbanai, not coming from anywhere. Now, this is an important point because in some deviant sampradayas with whom Srila Bhakti Siddhanta had great discussion, they were saying, no, you can choose your form according to your meditation. But that is not the verdict of the acharyas. It is constitutional. In fact, we can infer that if you say that the soul does not have a constitutional nature, that is impersonal. That is impersonalism. Then we were reducing the soul to a spark that can take this form or that form, unrelated to its spark nature. The spark, if the soul is just a spark without prem constitutionally, without prem, without a swarup constitutionally, then is impersonalism, right? And the very meaning of swarup means own form, your constitutional, intrinsic, innate, inbuilt. Any more words? That's enough. Your your inbuilt nature is there. You understand? And that's why I'm saying Ishopanishad says Om Purnamadapada, the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. Krishna is constitutionally Krishna. That's his stahibhav, if you like. He is naturally Parampurusha. This took me some time. I was reading, when I was a new devotee, I was reading Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I was reading, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, he's the Supreme Lord. But then I understood, listening lectures and reading, that Krishna has many personalities, many aspects. Like I'm saying, we have a constitutional stahibhav, we have a constitutional personal nature, but we take many moods, right? So when Krishna takes a mood, he takes a form. And also it's explained that the living entity, he can take different forms. For example, uh, those devotees, those jivas that worship Lord Chaitanya during the period of sadhana, they take one form for Chaitanya Leela and another form for Krishna Leela. So we are very fortunate. And this is constitutional, innate, inbuilt. And once I did a search in the Veda base, you know, the computer, I put in constitutional. There was about 5,000 times. And in Jaiva Dharma Bhakti Vinod, in Dashamula Tattva, innate, inbuilt. So we have everything. And why? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he's perfect and complete, all emanations from him, such as the jiva, the individual jiva, are perfect and complete and perfectly equipped as complete wholes. This is personalism. So we have all emanated from Krishna with constitutional prem, constitutional nityasid, a tendency to serve Krishna, constitutional form. How is it woken up? Shravanadi Sudachitte Karideodai. And purity and lolam, desire. That's the meaning that Krishna is telling Arjuna. Arjuna, don't be distracted by karma yoga, jnana yoga, mystic powers and all that, going to Svarga Loka, becoming Lord. Don't. What's that verse in the Gita? Ekeha Puranandaha. The devotee is Ekeha Puranandana. He's one-pointed. I will awaken Krishna Prem. I will awaken my constitutional form. Bahu Shakasya Anantasya. You know the sloka? That those that are not fixed in this way, they huh? What? Sorry? Is it a worm? Is that auspicious? Maybe. Where you have you come from here? Take the worms out of the before. Anyway, he has a constitutional nature relationship with Krishna, but it's dormant. So we have constitutional form, we have constitutional prem, we have constitutional nature as Krishna Das. We are emanations from Krishna, Ekeha Purunandana. And so that is our tapasya. You understand? That is our tapasya. Having understood this, we decide yes. And so surrender. There's 6 symptoms of surrender. One is to always do everything towards awakening that constitutional nature, avoiding all those things that are unfavorable to that constitutional nature. Because you may think, what does surrender mean? What does surrender? And then the other ones, I looked it up this afternoon. Yes, you should always, number 3, consider, this is from Jaiva Dharma, that Krishna will protect me. Number 4, Krishna will maintain me. Number 5, one should be humble and self-contained. One should be dhira, sober. And number 6, one should have no independent idea or aspiration other than this, waking up our constitutional nature. our true, ultimate, intrinsic, inbuilt, innate, constitutional nature as the ecstatic, loving servants of Krishna. So, Prabhupada actually puts that in the purport, if you remember. So, Ekeha, and that is tapasya, that I'm going to go for the greatest thing. I'm going to go for my own nature. And I don't have, but I need Guru to teach me. I need Sadhu to help me. I need Sadhu to instruct me. I need, most of all, Lolam, Krishna Prapti, what we sing every day, right? By the grace of Guru, all our desires are there. So there, I'm learning down the harmonium. Kavi habi bolo se dinama. Right? When will I chant with ecstasy? When will I overcome my offenses? This should be our aspiration. The materialist may be wanting a new house or a new plasma TV, but the devotee is desiring, let me become the perfect servant of Krishna, which is within me. So this is a very wonderful thing. We already have everything. We have it inbuilt to our soul. And there is one sloka in the Bhagavatam, Muktir hitaban yata rupa swarupena avabashtiti. Very famous, very key verse. Muktir hitavan yata rupam. Mukti, what is liberation? Liberation doesn't just mean getting out of the material energy. Muktir hitavan yata rupam means to be situated in your swarup, in your dharma, in your nature as an ecstatic, loving servant of Krishna. So everything is in our hand. Now, you were saying verse 64, but number 65, 64, Krishna says, I'm going to tell you the confidential knowledge. So yes, verse 66 means surrender. But the verse 65 is how you actually surrender in summary form. Always think of me, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. You can only think of Krishna if you're devoted, right? So you have that devotion, you have to awaken it by purity, lolam, lobta, desire, and chanting, Mad Bhakto. Mad Jaji. That means what? Yaji means yagya. It is um, it is the second part of Diksha. Guru teaches yagi. And what is yagi? This is pure devotion. Now you will waken up your swarup and your prem by Shuddha Bhakti, right? Not by Karma Yoga, not by Gyamaya. So what is Shuddha Bhakti? Madhyaji. You think of Krishna in a devotional way, and then everything you do from the morning till you wake up, yes, you do as an offering to Krishna. Madhyaji. Yaji means yagya. Everything I do. And that means what? I'm following principles, so become nishta. And then I get nam ruchi. So nam ruchi means, oh, I'm getting a little taste. Now, what do we do when we go to Ganga or Jamuna? We take bath, oh, I'm refreshed. And then we offer Ganga Jal back to Ganga. Thank you, Ganga Ma, for refreshing me, purifying me. I'm feeling very peaceful, right? So even in bhakti, we don't perform bhakti for our embellishment, for our enjoyment. Oh, chant and be happy. I'll become Krishna's devotee. I'll become happy. No. If we get some ruchi, if we get some happiness, what do? We offer it to Krishna. Oh, I'm getting nam ruchi. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh, the bliss I feel, I offer to Krishna. This is the meaning of Madhyaji. Huh? Everything I'm enjoying Krishna Prasad. I offer that happiness to Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. I'm offering an apple to Krishna, to Giriraj. And I'm not just ringing the bell. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, I'm thinking, Krishna, please enjoy this apple. I'm coming for darshan, and I'm not thinking, oh, well, I'll enjoy the darshan. No, we're thinking, I'll go there in my nice clean clothes. I'll pay obeisances so that Krishna will be pleased to see me. Huh? This is pure bhakti. We're not saying, I come to bhakti and enjoy. That's the material consciousness. Everything I do is a calculation for my enjoyment. But pure bhakti means all the devotees, when the gopis gave this example many times, they heard the Krishna flute on the bank of the Jamuna. They didn't think, let's go and enjoy with Krishna. No, they say, Krishna's calling us. Let's go there and maybe we can give him pleasure. And what is Krishna? He's playing the flute. Gopis, come here so I can give you pleasure. Confirmed. That idea is so powerful. So this is what the mood we have to cultivate. That we're cooking and offering to Krishna. That's obvious, isn't it? But then we're enjoying prasad. Oh, Krishna. I offer Nam Ruchi, I offer. That is Madhyaji. That is Madhyaji. That everything is done. I'm taking bath in the morning, cleaning myself as an offering to Krishna. It's tapasya. To get up early and chant, it's done as an offering to Krishna. That is the meaning of Madhya. And that is the spiritual consciousness. Krishna is not trying to enjoy Radharani. He's trying to please Radharani, right? He's the beloved of the gopis, but he's their plaything. He's under their control of their devotion. So this is the spiritual consciousness that we have to understand. That here in the material, we always try to control and enjoy, but we don't really get satisfaction. But in the spiritual world, everyone is selfless. Let me perform my activities for Krishna. So that's what we do. That is the important point. If you're going to attract Krishna, the 6 symptoms of pure bhakti, number 6 is it's the only way to attract Krishna. And pure bhakti means that I'm acting for the pleasure of my spiritual master, for the pleasure of Gaunitai, for the pleasure of Krishna. My calculation is always to give pleasure. It's at the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Radha and Krishna are one, but to enjoy the bliss of pastimes, they have separated themselves eternally. So Krishna, he has expanded as all the Jiva Tattva. Not to enjoy them, but to give them happiness. You see, we always think, what is best for me? So then we think Krishna's thinking like that. Huh? But no, Krishna is creating out of ecstasy. And that ecstasy is beyond calculation. I will enjoy in this way. And they will, no. Ultimately, prem, just like, is beyond thought in that logical calculation way. It is just ecstasy. Just like a musician plays music, he's not thinking A, B, C, F, G. No, it's just he's in the groove, right? He's in the ecstasy of creating music. So yes, there is philosophy that explains Krishna, that introduces us to the Leela, and all these things. But ultimately, the spiritual world is a place of ecstasy. It is a place of ecstasy. And Krishna's creative impulse is an expression of his ecstasy. And we are particles of that ecstasy, right? We are Angsa of Krishna. So our nature is to enter into that ecstasy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is surrender to Krishna. Any question? Yes, Prabhu. Well, it's constitutional. Yes. Well, as the Swarup awakens, those moods will come. Yes, I understand. Go on. Well, he has a constitution. The soul, he or she, has a constitutional nature. So as the Swarup awakens, the first will be a kind of Shantaras, a kind of appreciation of Krishna. Then Dasya Bhav, a desire to serve Krishna. And then a sense of, just like it is in Shravanam Kirtanam, there's Dasya, Sakya, Atmanivedanam. So then there will be a friendship feeling of towards Krishna. Krishna is that is based on what's called in Sanskrit Vishramba, an intimate faith. And then a sense that Krishna belongs to me, which is parental mood. And then that can develop further into conjugal mood. So the individual development of a soul is supervised by Krishna. You understand? Ultimately by Krishna, by Yogamaya. So it's hard to say, does this soul transform from Dasya to Sakya? That's your question, right? No, the soul has a constitutional nature. And also, upgrade, if I may say, is a dangerous word to use because it implies that one is lower than the other, right? Sakya is lower than parental. Now, those discussions are there in the Shastra, but at the same time, we are advised not to think that those that are in Sakyabha are lower than those that are in Vatsalyabha, parental mood. You understand? Because they are all constitutionally fulfilled in unlimited ecstasy. You see the point? So you can say that conjugal bhav is higher than parental in terms of its ecstasy or its intimacy rather, but they are all completely fulfilling in their nature. Now, interesting point that you do understand that answer. So it is a matter of realization. You understand? So in the beginning of Jaiva Dharma, there are two students of the Guru there. They go to the Guru, and the Guru says, take daily bath in the Ganga, parakram, chant. And then one comes back, and the Guru asks, how are you feeling now? And one disciple says, I'm my mind is just going towards Krishna herding the cows, that go in the forest with the cowherd boys. And then the other disciples, my mind is attracted to the conjugal affairs, Radharani, the affairs of gopis with Krishna. And then the Guru says, this is the beginning of Jaiva Dharma. Everyone should read Jaiva Dharma. And then say, your constitutional relationship is in Sakyabhav. We can understand by your awakening mood. Yours is in Mathurya Bhav. So then the Guru says, now, so you should do your sadhana and develop that awakening mood. By what? Following the residents of Vrindavan that have that mood, you should study and contemplate what is the mood of the cowherd boys. And then now you should contemplate what is the mood of the gopis in relationship to Krishna. And you should chant, developing a deeper understanding, and that will resonate in your constitutional nature. You understand the point? You're still on the beginning platform, but now it's starting to awaken. So that's called the leaders of the different rasas, staibhavs, they are called Radhatmika devotees. And Raganuga Bhakti means, you know this, huh? Raganuga means to follow their particular attachment, that mood of their attachment. And so that is what I was saying at the beginning. Siddharupena. The bhakti should be performed with the sadhaka rupena, regulative principles, only take prasad, studying, contemplating, controlling the senses. But we should also be developing our siddharupena. And that siddharupena will awaken when I've just explained. You're always doing everything, not so that you enjoy, but it's your offering to Krishna. You understand? I'm getting Nam Ras, Hare Krishna. Oh, now I'll enjoy Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, I'm getting Nam Ras, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, and the bliss I'm offering in return to Krishna. Just like I take the Ganga Jal and I offer it to Ganga. So the devotee, that is the meaning, like I tried to say, Majaji. And then Mam Namaskaru, that is important. That means that you should give obeisances, respect to all living entities. Pandita Samadashana. You should see that everybody is a spirit soul. And if you give respect to all living entities, that is the best way to realize Krishna. That's what Krishna tells Uddhava in the Uddhava Gita, 11th canto Bhagavatam. The best way to realize me, Uddhava, is in the heart of all living entities. If you offer respect to every living entity, then you will respect me. So Mam Namaskaru is confidential knowledge. Why is it so confidential? Why is it confidential? Because if somebody is nice to me, respectful to me, I'm not asking for respect, but then I feel obliged. I respond. So Krishna's giving a secret. He's not wanting everyone to just pay obeisances because he's the big God. I'm the Don. No, he's saying, if you'd want to touch my heart, Arjuna, or devotees, pay obeisances to me, because that touches my heart. That's one of the symptoms, right, of surrender, to be humble, respectful to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. If you do that, then then Radharani will say to Krishna, Krishna, what a nice devotee. And Krishna has to agree with Radharani. So this is a secret. You're doing your meditation on Krishna, Manmana, with awakening devotion. You're doing everything as an offering to Krishna. That's Shuddha Bhakti. and you are giving respect. Manmana bhavamad bhakto majaji mam namaskaru. No, the Shikshastakam. You're giving respect to all living entities. You're being tolerant. You're in the material nature. So many things may happen. You're tolerant. And then if you are dearer in this way, it's very easy to concentrate and realize Krishna, that Krishna is present everywhere. So that to realize Krishna is present here in the material world is the best way to realize Krishna. You understand? Krishna is here now. He's in your heart. He's the soul of the soul. So, okay, we are, Krishna in Golok Leela, Gokul Leela. But Krishna's in my heart. So in the Shastra, you will find so many instructions to install Krishna and Radha and the gopis and the Mother Yashoda and the cowherd boys within the lotus of the heart. And then it explains in chapter 13 of 11th canto that that form you should expand and you should enter that. That is entering Sharanam Vraja, going into Golok. You should create Vrindavan in your heart and expand that into the universe and then enter into that. And then you'll be transcendental. Maybe for half an hour in my case, but but then you will be able to enter. So that is the meaning of Siddharupena Chatrahi. Don't just learn to put tilak and go to Mangalarti and shuffle your feet. No, be developing the spiritual world within the lotus of the heart, visualizing Radha and Krishna there, seeing Krishna, Pandita Samadarshana, even in the dog or the hog or the tom-tom driver. Wherever Krishna is there, you see Krishna eternally. Huh? And then, now I'm getting a touch of Nam Ruchi because I'm becoming less offensive. But then that Ruchi, I offer to Krishna. Then that's Sudha Bhakti. Because I'll say again, in the material, we're always trying to use everything. Karma yoga for me, jnana yoga for me, mystic powers for me. But Sudha Bhakti means Majaji, Krishna, Atmani Vedanam. I'm giving everything to you. What is Manasa Deho Giho Yokisho Mora Apilotu Apade Nanda Kishore. I give everything to you. That's Bhakti Vinod. You see, we do that is Shuddha Bhakti. So that is in your power. Do you understand? To adopt that mentality. So try to remember that. So here is chapter. So any more quick? Yeah. Excuse me. Is that number 65? You see, that verse. Sometimes we will just look at number 66, but actually the verse before is the confidential practice that leads to surrender. Understand? But you find, like I'm quoting from here and there, it's all the same idea, process, described in different ways and different points, you see, in different literatures. But it's all that same idea. Shuddha Bhakti is that. My calculation is to give pleasure for Krishna. Just like me, I can sit here and think, people will think I'm really smart. Well, it's unlikely actually, but I can give a class for the pleasure of Prabhupada, for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya. You see, I can give it as an offering. You see, or I can take sannyas and then think, no, I'm pretty big. I'm a big man. People are going to give me the Mahaprasad. Do you see my point? Now, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but this change of heart, right, is the key that opens the spiritual platform. Because everyone in the spiritual platform is thinking like that. The cowherd boys are playing for Krishna's happiness. Krishna is playing for their happiness. Everyone is giving in the spirit eternally. Yaji. Yogya means that which is done for the other, right? So Krishna. So we have to understand that and then pursue our sadhana, our study, our chanting for Krishna. Then we become like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Manas, I give everything to you. Right? So we have to finish now because Chatradari wants to get he wants to get Mahaprasad. Okay, so everyone knows how to surrender to Krishna now. And everyone knows that you have your loving nature there. And now everyone knows that you're made out of the ecstasy of Krishna. Krishna is ecstasy. He's created everything out. This is his ecstatic expression. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Chakradari.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,